All right, this is the part one of me building a command radio transmitter supply. Now this is a power a transformer I got off eBay, eDumpster, whatever you want to call it, and it was about $100 with shipping. And it's from a television set. It's a replacement, okay? And it gives me high voltage. Also, I have 4 other windings I can put in series if I phase them right, and I can get 24 volts. So what I basically wanted to do was just test it to see how much voltage it gave me. Because, you know, I know it's each side of the high voltage to the center ground is 280 volts. And it's a 260 milliamp transformer. So it's got the current and it's got the voltage. So what I did was, first of all, I did this. I used the windings I'm not testing. I put wire nuts. I didn't want them, as I'm testing, want them to touch, or I've had that happen before on smaller transformers. And this is a much bigger one. Then I took the high voltage windings. There's 3 windings. One's to ground, to the capacitor, and then 2 hots. These are 800 volt diodes to a 450 volt capacitor. Turned it on. 450 volt capacitor. I got 430 volts unloaded. Okay, so now I know I have how much voltage I have, and it'll all work with the circuit I want to work with. But I want to tell you some quick stories. I had a neighbor that was up on a ladder, and he dropped his hand drill, electric hand drill, and the wires pulled out of the hand drill. So he took it down in the cellar, and he rewired it, and he pulled the trigger on the drill, and it worked, and that was that. A month or so goes by, and he's screaming from the cellar. And he's up on a washing machine, and he's holding a cold water pipe. And when he went to pick up the hand drill, power drill, he got a shock. He didn't get electrocuted because he was still alive. So anyway, he starts screaming. My father runs across the yard, goes down the stairs, unplugs the drill. And the guy was really shook bad. He was kind of annoyed that all my father did was unplug the drill. But my father wasn't willing to grab him, not knowing the situation. You know, you're by a washing machine. Was there a water leak? Why are you drilling a hole? None of that ran through my father's mind at all. He just went for the plug and pulled it out. And then when the guy started telling me about it, I said, no, I said, he did the right thing. You're taught never to touch someone that's being shocked. Well, I won't say electrocuted. Electrocuted is, I think, dead. Well, there's a technicality. Anyway, I went to tech school, and like the first week, they had basically a transformer, some barrier strips on a chassis like this, and you'd wire the transformer up. And the transformer ran down to the barrier strip, the windings, and you hook your line cord up to that, and then you had to do different experiments, different resistors, measure the voltage drop. Well, this guy across from me, not next to me, across from me, I had my back to him, and he starts screaming. And I turn around, and he's flapping his arms like he's a bird. And he didn't know what to do. He was silent, he's just flapping. And I look, and I see the line cord starting to go on fire. So I walked over there and unplugged it. Meanwhile, the instructor, or the guy running the show in our room, starts yelling, get some water, somebody get some water. And when I unplugged the plug, the problem went away. So it made a bit of a ruckus. So I went and sat down in my chair, and in comes the guy that wants to be the head of the school. It was actually his class that we had. He had someone else watching us, and he wants to know what's happening. So he goes over to the kid. The kid isn't talking. He ain't saying anything. So they all point to me, you know. So he comes over to me and is like, I've said, look, I said, he instead of using the power strip on the workbench, he used the one on the wall. And the line cord didn't reach, so he tugged on it. And when he tugged on it, one side of the AC came out of the barrier strip. It touched the wire next to it, and also in the barrier strip, and they welded together. And the line cord started to go on fire. And I went over and unplugged it. Well, this guy's like, he's trying to question me like stupid, like a retarded stuff. And I said, look, dude, I build this stuff at home. I said, I know what to do. I said, you know, I went over and unplugged the plug, removed the problem. You know, but he was like annoying. And then I forget what he was saying to me. I said, you know, you forgot to teach us safety around electricity. And he got really annoyed. See, he was trying to become president of the school. So he'd come into class, he'd tell us to do this, do that, and leave us with this other guy that was trying to become an instructor. But it was amazing stuff. You know, I'm always there, and what I should have done was just started clapping or something. But, you know, and that kid was a flake. He was a real flake. I won't go into that. But anyway, that's what I do. I've been doing this stuff my whole life. You know, the guy that steps up, and when you step up to something like that, someone's going to be mad at you. But that guy that was going to become the president, he realized that there were no breakers in the entire room. In other words, if you created a short circuit, nothing triggered. It just burned. And I went over and I just yanked the plug out of the wall. It's problem solved. You know, and then the kid, after I tell him that, the kid's got his voice back and he's trying to explain that they should have insulators between the barrier strips, and I didn't go there, okay? I don't know when he put the wires under the barrier strips, if he had some of them up in the air and they touched when he did pull, but I do remember him saying the wire wasn't long enough for him to plug into the outlet on the wall, but there were outlets up on the top of the bench that he didn't understand what they were. Yeah, that's the truth. All right, that's it.